We have learned this afternoon that a new device is being credited with saving lives during this week's school shooting in Georgia.
And Tennessee is one of 7 states that allows school districts to buy these. Thanks for joining us here at 4 o'clock. I'm Lauren Lowry.
And I'm Jeremy Finley. Our Marissa Sulik found some schools have them while others don't. With nerves already high after Wednesday's shooting, we've learned a gun was brought to Hillsborough High School today, forcing the school to go on lockdown. Before Metro Police got there, school staff had already searched the student and found the weapon. The 14-year-old was taken into police custody, but police are working to find out if the student planned to use it on campus. Officers also searched the school and do not find any threats. The teen will be charged with carrying a gun on school property. Police say that he took the gun from a drawer at his home. You know, we unfortunately report about road rage a lot, but this time, a dog is the victim. The driver says a black Dodge Ram pickup truck was following him closely Wednesday night on Bell Road in Hermitage. When the driver stopped at the red light, he says the other driver pointed a gun and fired at the passenger's side, shooting out the back window. Now, the driver was not hit, but his German Shepherd died after being shot. Well, people are complaining online about long wait times at Vanderbilt's emergency room, and our Dryden Quigley talks about what they're seeing and what your other options are. A father and son are both charged in the mass school shooting in Georgia. Why the parent is now in police custody and what the laws are in that state. The law was actually passed after the Covenant school shooting as a way to reduce threats in schools. It considers threats of mass violence as any act that could lead to serious bodily injury, as well as direct or indirect communication. But the law does give school districts the right to determine the level of any threat before taking any disciplinary action. All right, calls to reduce hateful protests in Nashville, how Mayor Freddie O'Connell plans to enforce new rules if they are approved by the Metro Council. All right, next week, federal trial begins for the remaining officers in the Tyree Nichols case. The former Memphis police officers are all charged in the 29-year-old's deadly beating. 2 of them, Desmond Mills Jr. and Emmett Martin, took plea deals. The other former officers have pleaded not guilty to all charges. The judge says the state trial will not happen until after the federal trial.
2 Murfreesboro softball coaches are being called heroes for saving a man's life.
Yeah, a contractor working at the Riverdale High School football field collapsed yesterday. But as our Brendan Tierney reports, the coaches jumped into action. The Murray County community is still rebuilding months after the tornado in May. The group Long-Term Recovery has been helping victims, but they need your help this weekend if you can. Tomorrow, it will host a tornado take-back event in Murray County. The community is asked to help with cleaning up impacted homes.
And Tennessee Titans open up their season on Sunday in Chicago. It's a big moment for their first-time head coach.
Yeah, it's bringing Chris. So what do you think? Is Brian Callahan ready for the season? Well, we are 60 days out from Election Day, and former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are preparing for Tuesday's debate. We have more developments in the murders of 4 University of Idaho students. The defense team for the suspect, Brian Koberger, wants the death penalty off the table. His attorneys say there are several reasons why the state's call for the death penalty is unconstitutional. You may remember, they also want the trial to happen at a different venue in Idaho. The trial is supposed to begin in June of next year. Well, here's something you don't see every day. That's right, a helicopter forced to land on a California freeway last night, causing major traffic delays. You can see several cars were stuck at a standstill. The pilot made the emergency landing because of mechanical issues, but there were no reported injuries. One side of the freeway had to be shut down as emergency crews responded to that scene. That caused major traffic backup, as you can imagine, as everyone was forced to exit the freeway to avoid the area. There are now several new ordinances being proposed that aim to reduce the amount of hateful protests here in Nashville. They're all being proposed by Mayor Freddie O'Connell. Neighbors and leaders called on changes after weeks of hate groups protested in Nashville. In one of those protests, you might remember, kids were targeted and called racial slurs. But if the ordinances pass the Metro Council, how are they going to be enforced? All right, the man on your screen is still wanted for questioning in connection to a shooting outside of an Antioch lounge. At least 5 people were hurt. Police believe this man, who has not yet been identified, got inside a silver Jeep, and that's where the shots came from. There has still not been any arrests. Well, there is a critical need for blood donations right now. This month, the nonprofit Blood Assurance is going to be hosting more than 120 blood drives across Middle Tennessee with the hopes of saving lives. On Wednesday, it will team up with the Franklin Police Department for a mobile blood drive. It's going to be located on Plaza Street. It begins at 8:30 and ends at 2:30. The donors are going to receive a free T-shirt that commemorates 9/11. Believe it or not, Wednesday marks 23 years since that tragedy. You can schedule an appointment now.
Good evening, I'm Lauren Lowry.
And I'm Jeremy Finley. It happened between juveniles on Cedar Point Parkway at an apartment complex. Let's show you the scene. The kids were dropped off there by a bus. Another group of kids approached them. It's believed to have been a pre-planned fight after school. One kid ran away, and that is when police say he was shot. We are working to find out how he's doing tonight. Police are still looking for the other suspects. We are joined by First Alert Chief Meteorologist Lisa Spencer. So Lisa, what do people need to know if they're headed out the door tonight? Metro Police say they have strong leads into who shot and killed an 18-year-old brother and son. This happened outside a South Nashville nightclub 2 weeks ago. Our Marissa Sulik spoke with his family today, who is pleading for more information. Now, the other victim is a 20-year-old man who the family says is still in the hospital. Metro Police say he is expected to survive. All right, Keith Urban surprised Music City fans with a pop-up show last night. One special guest came up to the stage. You're going to hear from him when we come back. Well, Nashville is a place where people flock to if they have a dream to be in music, and that is the case for Belmont junior Logan Sanders. He's a songwriting major and has a band. Well, Logan is a huge Keith Urban fan, and when he found out he was playing a free pop-up show last night on Broadway, he headed straight down. Little did he know, though, he would be pulled on stage to play with Urban and get to play one of his original songs. We'll see you back here in a half an hour. NBC Nightly News is next.